Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the In My Era podcast. Let me just get comfy, get cozy here with you guys. I don't know that this is comfy or cozy. Sometimes I'm like, damn, do I look like a literal potato sack? Okay, I won't lie to you. As we start this episode, I'm like highly aware or like hyper fixated on how I look. Not comfy with that. One sec. See, the thing is like if I take my hair out of my face, I feel a little bit more free. I don't know. There's something about like my hair being everywhere sometimes. It just overstimulates me. And this is just an honest to God introduction of like where I am in this present moment, okay? Let me set the scene for you. Today, I've had a day off. I woke up, slept in a little bit today. I had this really weird dream where one of my guy friends, all I remember from the dream was that like I was in somebody's truck and I was looking at his air freshener, and the air freshener was one of my guy friends' faces, but like as an air freshener. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, what the fuck? Because I've been having this thing recently where I haven't been able to like remember my dreams, but I'll remember like one or two details. And I woke up this morning and the one or two details was the air freshener of my friend's face, which was kind of odd. And then after I woke up, went for a walk, grabbed some coffee, came back, had breakfast, and then I journaled. And the journal sesh inspired today's episode. Briefly though, I wanted to touch on last week's episode where I just didn't want to film an episode. Nothing really spoke to me. I think I've been a little bit in my head about putting out content that means something to me, because I think that social media is very important to me. And that inspired this week's episode, which is social media is for art, not for validation. I think when I was 15 and I was first introduced to the topic of social media, to what it was 100% for validation. It was like, I wanted to see what my friends were posting. I wanted them to like my photos, and I wanted to have over 300 likes and like 20 people to comment. And it very much was a validation status thing. And I think that even went forward, of course, into high school and honestly probably every day of life, but somewhere along the way from 15, where it was purely used for validation, I found the desire to use social media as a tool, because I think social media, like life, is what you make of it. It's how you perceive it. It's how you respond to it. It's what you do. And I think if you're somebody who's out there just consuming social media to see what people are up to, you're going to be fucking miserable. I know that when I have certain days, because it's never linear, where I'm on social media and I'm just saying, okay, like Jessica is engaged now, or Samantha had a baby, or Jared is traveling in Europe like a free little spirit. It's like when I have days like that where I'm on social media and I'm like, ooh, I wonder how this person is doing. And I go in, search up their profiles, fully give them a good stalk. Like, what are they up to? What's going on? I feel, whoa, weird voice crack. I feel like complete and utter shit afterwards. And so I made this rule in my head where it was like, I am only going to allow myself to consume social media for a portion of a day. When I say a portion, I mean 1 hour, because 1 hour is still a lot. 1 hour is still a lot, but it's a lot less than what I was doing, because I was like, the more that I consume other people's social media, the worse I feel about myself, and I'm less inspired. But the more that I create for social media. And the more that I post on social media or go on social media to find inspiration or art, things like that, the better I feel and the more aligned with my purpose I feel. There's always been this battle in my head of seeing social media almost as purely evil and simultaneously seeing social media as a key and an opportunity, which, like I said, I think just like is a huge metaphor for life. Like it really just, it is what you make of it. I think the issue with social media is how addictive it is and just how ingrained in our society it is. Like I know, like when I meet someone who doesn't have social media, I am just like, whoa, what do you do with your life? And are you happy? You know, it's like I feel like I have so many questions because so much of my life, at least, I feel like I have been made to express myself on social media. And sometimes that feels silly because the idea that I could possibly be contributing to somebody else having a spiral about their own life freaks me the fuck out. Like, I never want someone to, like, see one of my podcast episodes or, like, one of my TikToks or my Instagram posts and be like, oh my God, like, I don't know. I don't want people to compare themselves to me because it's like when I post on social media, my intention is to be like creating art, like something inspirational and happy, or if it's not inspirational or happy, I want it to be authentic because I want to be able to hopefully help others to feel comfortable being more themselves online, because I think if we were all going to be ourselves more online, it would be a safer place for everyone. Yesterday, my roommate was talking about how we never see videos or posts from people being like, oh my God, like I slept through my alarms today. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't journal. I didn't stick to my meal plan. It's always like, I woke up at this hour and I had a perfectly balanced breakfast and I went to the gym and I have a really great outfit on and then I'm going to go see my perfect friend group and my perfect romantic partner and we have a dog and we also just have so much money. You know, it's always so perfect. And I think social media is special because you are able to celebrate your highs online. But I think something that I'm learning is that it's equally as important to show up as yourself when you're feeling low or when you've had a bad day, because I think that creates a transparency that I think we're missing on social media. I even hung out with one of my friends who does social media, and I was talking about how I was making a TikTok video, and she was like, I haven't made a TikTok video in so long because whenever I go to record, I don't feel pretty. I don't feel like myself. I just don't feel inspired. And I think that that's really relatable for anyone who has like tried to be consistent on social media, or I don't know, it's like you don't always feel good. And that's kind of how I look at last week's episode. Like I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. I didn't really feel good in myself that week. Like I genuinely was like, I don't have anything to say right now because I don't want to just be putting out bullshit content. Like I want it to mean something. But I also knew that it was important to me to still show up and at least put something out, because that was a promise that I had made to myself to be honest with my social media when I am not feeling my best, which that feels silly to say. It's like my social media, like it's a person. But I kind of think that it is. I think your social media, like this is a place where people come to learn about you and to see who you are. And it's weird to think about because sometimes when I post online, I feel like I'm like posting into an abyss, or like it's like I hit upload and then I'm like, okay, this is going to go out to strangers who I'm never going to see. I'm never going to interact. They're never going to like know me. But then in reality, it's like, okay, well, the algorithm is definitely targeted towards people that I know or people in my area. So then I'm like, oh shit, like all of these people who are like in my outer circle are learning so much about me. And it's like, fuck, it's just like a crazy thing to think about. But it is important to me because I'm seeing this, the podcast, TikTok, Instagram, social media, I'm seeing all of this as a tool to help, in my own way, I think better the world, I guess. Because fuck, how do I want to say this? I feel like we have so much to learn from one another. And there's so much to be shared and understood. But I just think a lot of people don't feel comfortable sharing. And for some reason, I have always just felt very comfortable putting very personal information online. And I think that it's because what it comes down to is I look back at my childhood, right? And how lonely and like dark and scary it was. And it's like I know that I am now the person that I needed when I was little. And so if I can be honest and transparent about my life now, then maybe I can help one other person feel less alone. Or maybe I can help one person believe in themselves that they can achieve their dreams and they can be happy and healthy and successful. And I think that I see it on a small scale where it's like, I don't think that social media, everyone has to be famous in order to make an impact. I think the people who are able to make the biggest impacts actually are the people who are small and authentic. And even if I just make one person from my outer circle feel a little bit more seen or more valued, then I feel like that's all that I need to know. You know, it's not about the validation of what it could be from millions of people if someone blows up to be Alex Earl, you know? It's about the art. It's about the process. It's about the intention and the meaning. And I think sometimes we all get lost when we forget the intention, right? It's like, yes, we do have access to see like how our ex-boyfriends and girlfriends are doing. We can go check in on our old friends and see what they're up to. It's like, we can do that, or that'll make you feel like shit. You could remember your intention. And at least my intention with social media is always art and authenticity and growth. And then I'll be like, okay, like, should I go stalk my old friend's Instagram right now? Probably not. I should probably go look at Pinterest for painting ideas and go fucking paint. Or go step outside, you know? It's tricky. So social media is a very tricky trap to fall into. I think in little ways, like, I fall into it on a daily basis. But there is a way to overcome the trap and to take the opportunities as they come to you. I also want you to know that no matter what your life looks like right now, there's nothing wrong with it. And this ties in, trust me, because I remember, like, you guys, way back when, I think I was like, I don't know, a sophomore in college or something, like I've said, I've always just kind of felt called to post on social media. I wanted to post on social media sophomore year, but I was like, my dorm is just not aesthetic enough. Or like, my life just isn't aesthetic enough. You know, like, I don't live in an aesthetic city or whatever it may be. But this is me telling you that no matter what your life looks like right now, it is good enough. And this is exactly where you're meant to be to take that next step towards building the life that you want. It's forever growing and expanding, but your power always will lie in the present moment and knowing that exactly as your life is, it is perfect and you have absolutely everything that you need in order to take that next step. So yeah. Also, a little bit of a pivot. We're still talking about social media, but like in a completely different context. I was babysitting this last week, all right? Babysitting for this family that I love, I adore. Like, I consider them like my second, third, fourth. I have so many fucking second families. So they're one of like the 10 that I have. And I was babysitting them, and they have a son who is in elementary school. And he like literally had one of the worst panic attacks I've ever seen a child have. Like, when I reflect on my own personal journey with anxiety and all of that, I didn't have my first true panic attack, I guess, that I can remember until I was like 16. But I was like with this kid who was having a panic attack, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, why are children, why are they so anxious? And I honestly think that a lot of it has to do with social media and the technology and the constant access to like our peers and our friends. And it kind of freaked me out because I was like, okay, I think when kids are impacted by something, it's easier to see its effects. But like, whereas when you're an adult, there's so much going on that it's harder to know like what the root cause of the problem is. But I think seeing a child like have such a anxious response, I think from social media and just that constant stimulation of technology made me really reflective on that same side of the coin for myself, because there are, like I have just said this whole episode, opportunities where social media can be a tool for something good, and like you can use it for something good, but I think really, really quickly it can develop into something bad. And I'm even thinking about like the spiritual psychosis reports that have been going on from ChatGPT, and I even think about some of the things that like ChatGPT has said to me that have just been completely astonishing. I remember one time ChatGPT told me, it either told me that it was God or that I was God. One of those things. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like this shouldn't even be illegal. This shouldn't be legal. This should not be legal. I don't know. I think that there is like 100% a dark side to social media, that I think that it is important that it is acknowledged but not feared. Because I think as soon as you fear something, you give that control over yourself. Because fear is such a powerful feeling. So I think it's okay to be like, okay, ChatGPT is a scary place sometimes. Maybe don't go there for everything. Adding myself, because sometimes I use it as a therapist. And sometimes social media is a bad place. Like, you need to know your own limits of when you need to stop consuming social media, and maybe make a little rule with yourself. Like, okay, I am allowed to post on social media, but I am not allowed to consume. Or I know Emma Chamberlain talked about how she had one phone that had social media on it that she would like keep at her house, and then she would use it like a few times when she was home. But her like day-to-day phone that she carries everywhere with her has no social media. And I'm not saying everyone needs to buy two phones, because like that's ridiculous. But I do think that it's important for you to create your own boundaries with yourself in social media, and for you to find what works for you. Because the truth of the matter is, social media is not going to work for everyone. Everyone is not going to be able to handle it to the same capacity. I think the majority of us cannot really handle it at all. But I do think that there are ways to learn and grow from social media. Like, I found a ton of like spiritual things through social media, or like mindset teachers, or really informative podcasts. Like, there's a lot to learn, a lot of knowledge on social media, but I think you have to like take a step back from it, especially from like the consuming of your peers' media, and be like, okay, like what do I want to get out of social media? How can I use this as a tool to push me forward instead of something that's going to hinder me and hold me back and hold me in a state of anxiety and discomfort? Because life is not meant to be hard. Life is meant to be enjoyed, lived, all of those things. And if you can't use social media to help you find that, maybe check in with yourself and be like, okay, should I have this at all? Like, if social media for you isn't for art or for learning or for growth, if it just is for validation, maybe look inwards and ask, how can I validate myself so that I don't seek this validation from somebody else? Or what am I missing in my life that I feel like I need to go and seek online or even externally in other people? I think there's always something to learn. I just think that it is important to take a step back every now and then, just check in and be like, okay, how are we doing? What is my intention with social media? How am I feeling? How can I create some more boundaries within myself? How can I truly take care of myself and balance this tool that is just so normalized and used and almost needed in our society now? So yeah, I think that's all I got this week. Next week, I think I'm really excited for the episode, whatever. So I'll be back. I think I'm gonna be home next week. So I'll see you at home, possibly if I record there. Let me know if anyone has any recommendations for things they want me to talk about, things they want to hear from me, my opinions on things. I don't know, guys. Sometimes I will literally pound my head into a wall trying to think of something to talk about. And usually I can figure something to talk about because I'm a yapper. But that being said, if you guys have things you want to hear, just let me know. Okay, I love you. That's all I got. I'll see you next week. Bye.